Okay, episode 5. Erik Hess, Badass Records. Why did your parents put a K on the end of that?
Put what?
A K on the end of you. Why did they spell your name with a K?
I don't know. I mean, because everybody else did the C or CK.
Okay. Ugh.
And so we're German. We're about like 85% German.
Okay.
And, you know.
Do you run into many Eriks with Ks?
I just did yesterday.
Oh,
but yeah, but otherwise, that's like the only one.
Okay.
It was just kind of a coincidence that it happened to be, because if we would have had this conversation last week, I would have been like, it's been forever. So it just happened that he's affiliated with my new company.
Yeah. So where'd your folks meet?
My parents met in Chicago. That's just where I was born. My dad had already graduated from the University of Denver with a business degree and was back there working. And my mom was working for the Chicago Post. Oh, wait, no, New York Post. So in Chicago.
Doing what?
Just, I think she's like a secretary type of thing.
Answering phones? There's a New York Post office in Chicago?
I'm pretty sure there was.
Okay.
I'm trying to, let me see. No, I'm sorry. Saturday Evening Post.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Interesting.
Is that right? Rockwell?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
that's what it was. I was totally, that's the one. So, and then my dad was 9.5 years older than my mom, and they met and got married. And
how many kids do they have?
Just me and my sister.
And are you the oldest?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. So were you both born in Chicago?
Yep.
Okay. And how long were you there?
I was only there through, I was born in 71, and so we moved to Iowa, I think it was in like 76.
Iowa? What part?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
Yep.
Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Because somebody got
my dad
job.
worked for Amico Oil. Yep.
Okay.
So my dad, the Amico moved us from there to Des Moines, Iowa, and then we moved to Kansas City in 84. So my mom just took care of me and my sister, and my dad provided for the family.
Sure.
So, which is quite amazing now, because I don't think not many people can do that in this era.
Yeah. No. There's a family at our church, my kid's school. He's a doctor, and they have 5 fifth grade and under. And she stays at home, but I mean, she is a mate. Like, she's really, all of their kids are like really good athletes. They were both super, super good hoopers.
Like college?
Yeah. She's got a mural. There's a thing, she's in the Hall of Fame for the Lady Ruse, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, damn.
But I mean, she's got all of her kids in 100 different activities, and they're all like competitive. None of it's rec. It's like almost all competitive. But yeah, she sticks out in that. Like,
well, then she's taking them to practices and stuff.
Yeah.
So that is way more difficult than a full-time job anywhere else.
Their car got stolen like a year or so ago, and they bought like a Sprinter van. I mean, like, it's a huge automobile that they just, you see it, and they're So 84, where did they buy a house?
We moved here, so it was kind of unique because I was in middle school at Urbandale Junior High School, and then we got a house in Lenexa, which were like the second house on the street, maybe even the first. And instead of me going back to 7th grade, we waited, and then I went back to 6th grade for like 2 months, and then went to Broadmoor Junior High School.
Broadmoor, okay.
So I was old for my grade because of that.
Was Broadmoor on 83rd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's east
right.
of Metcalf. And then it became like
east of Metcalf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used my folks, my dad took a job in South Carolina printing for this company that printed yearbooks, and I was born down there, and then they came back and bought a house at 83rd and Lamar, and I went to kindergarten at a place called Sequoia, which it closed after that year.
I think that would have fed into south, which the weird thing was Broadmoor fed into west. So
well, but the point is, so we're right there at 83rd and Lamar, and then like 8 or 9 blocks that way was my best buddy, and I feel like I would ride my bike past Broadmoor to get to his house. So like lots and lots of
because it was only, what is that, like the next main block? I think doesn't it go Metcalf Lamar?
Yeah.
And then Knoll, Roll, So definitely.
So you guys are in Lenexa. Are either of your folks music people? Are they?
I mean, my dad passed away 2 years ago, August. And,
oh wow, that's right.
Yeah, and he definitely was a music person. He would go to concerts. I mean, he got me into like I don't really know any. I just started listening to country music when I met Candy, but there was some, like, he loved Alabama.
Okay.
Loved Alabama. Loved Eddie Rabbit.
Nice.
Loved the Doobie Brothers. So he would always have records playing at the house all the time. And now I loved music so much that I used to listen to like the top 40.
Oh yeah.
And I'd have a pad of paper and I'd write where they were this week, where they were last week, the name of the artist and the song. And I freaking did that shit every
Casey
Sunday.
Kasem,
Yes.
Top 4, nice.
Yeah. And I had like a whole notebook full of it, and I did that. You know, like, I was all about statistics, and I was all about music and baseball cards.
God,
so I had books like that with the music, you know, and then I didn't even grade the music or say, well, because I loved all music.
Yeah,
like I just freaking love music. I mean, if you think about music, it's the only thing that has been with me my entire life.
Wow.
Through every, high and low, my dad's death, my first marriage, my second marriage. I mean, my kids being born, like, it's the only thing I can say.
No music memories from Chicago, though. They all kind of sprouted.
Yeah, because you really don't remember stuff before you're 5.
Yeah.
Like, at least that's what I've kind of, even though I've seen records my dad play,
sure.
And I'm like, oh, I remember that, but, it's from the memory.
So he had... did he have a decent vinyl collection? Or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
probably, golly, they probably had 300-400 albums. I mean, over whatever time frame. I have no idea what happened to him.
Oh, no way.
I have a feeling.
Wait, did your folks, were they still together when he passed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. They had already moved to their new house, but like, I just know they're packed somewhere in that basement.
Oh, so they're still in
my mom doesn't throw away anything.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're somewhere. I just haven't. I haven't even found my old record collection, and I just moved, to Spring Hill in June, and I have records. I have a record collection from when I was a kid. Now it's not anywhere close to my CD collection that I have.
Right,
nowhere even close. But those records are somewhere, and I don't know where they're at.
So run me through. Okay, because you said something about the row house, but the house that you were married to your first wife in, you stayed in there for a little bit, and then you sold it, and you got a place near that place.
Yes, but that was when I was opening up standees. So she kind of, like, we weren't planning on moving. I didn't want to move, and then all of a sudden, I was working 6-7 days a week, getting that place open, 12, 14-hour days, and she just packed all the shit up and moved to the house close to us, and I haven't seen the records since then.
Wait a minute.
What? I have seen them since then. No, I saw them then. It was when she moved out, when we were getting divorced. And I moved out of that house. That's the last time I saw them.
Yeah. So you moved out of that house, but you moved into another place near that house.
Yeah, less than half a mile.
And then what has happened house-wise since then?
Oh, geez. So since then, I stayed in that house too long after getting divorced. Yeah, and then basically was trying to find a place, and I ended up moving in with my sister for like 3 months.
Okay,
just to try to get things sorted and get that, sell that house, and so I did that. It might have been like 2.5 months, and then I moved into an apartment. Okay, with my kids, with my 3 kids, and that right there, that was Corbin. What the hell is that called? 135th and all, basically.
Okay.
And then Crossing, I think that's what it's called. And then Candy had her house
in Maryville.
In Maryville. So then we decided she was going to sell her house. I was in that apartment for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And then we got that rental house that we were in
Which
when
was
COVID hit.
Where?
Which was at Sylvan Lakes, basically Overland Park, right by Blue Valley High School.
Okay.
But we were only planning on being there a year.
You got that place, and she sold her place?
She sold her place. So then she sold her place like a month after we got that place, and then she moved all of her stuff down, which was funny because she hadn't even unpacked all of her stuff from that move. So we've actually now almost have everything unpacked at this house.
But you still have stuff elsewhere.
I do. I actually have stuff at my parents' house still.
Okay.
My mom's house now. So
but
I haven't gotten
all of the belongings between you and your ex were sorted out long.
Well, yeah, except for I found some things moving into this house. I'm like, I don't want this stuff, and I gave it to her.
Oh, okay.
Like,
how are things with you guys these days?
With my ex-wife?
Yeah. I mean, you. When did you give her these things?
Oh, I gave them to my kids, and then I gave
them to her. Okay, yeah. Because it hasn't been like
it's
amazing.
No.
And has
unfortunately
it gotten any better or just stayed the same?
No, it's pretty much staying the shitty ass thing it is. But
you should be running out of JC, Colton, and
Logan.
And what? JC's the baby.
Yep.
And
she's good because she's seen all the stupid stuff her brothers have done.
Right.
So.
Colton is the oldest?
Colton's the youngest. He's a freshman at K-State.
Okay.
In the same house I was in.
Okay.
Sigma Phi Epsilon.
Right.
Kansas Beta.
Yeah. JC, though, is how old?
14.
14.
Yep.
Okay, so you got 4 years left of
yeah.
possible reasons to have an argument, and then you should be out of reasons, right?
Until weddings.
What do you mean? What do you envision? Like bitching about who's got to pay for stuff, or what's the guest list? I mean,
who knows? I'm not worried about it. It's just that I know I'm gonna have to talk to her at that point. So,
but can you manage everything via text or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's a good thing about texting. There's a plus, because otherwise I can't think of a plus versus just talking to somebody.
Yeah, it's really
a cop out kind of. You could get a lot more accomplished, I guess, than picking up the phone. But
it allows you to just do things on your own time and at your own pace, and I don't know, man. Like
like booty calls when you're single, type of thing.
You
wake up at 2 a.m, like, hey, what? You wake?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that wasn't for you.
Wait, wrong Barbara.
Yeah. So your dad's record collection is somewhere around.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you looked through it?
Oh,
years.
Oh yeah.
I might
wouldn't be able to tell you. I would notice. I know he had the Doors. He listened to the Doors. Led Zeppelin.
But I ask because there's a decent chance that there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now, will your sister, like, if you said, I want this, would your sister?
Oh yeah, she wouldn't.
She wouldn't care.
She's not musical. she doesn't love music like Candy and I love music.
Okay.
There's not many people, because we do the same job, so we drive around a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people listens to the NPR radio, or listens to books, or broadcasts, where I'm always listening to music. I've got my Sirius XM, I've got Sirius XM on, and I've got from Hip Hop Nation to country to 90s music.
What'd you listen to on the way over here?
To everything. I listen to the Pulse. I listen to the country station, which I don't know. I can never think of what it's called. I always want to say Hurricane, but that's a Luke Combs song. And then Hip Hop Nation, Hair Nation, Lithium.
Okay.
So I listen to songs on every single
Sure.
one of those stations.
But that's in the car. What's your medium for when you're at home?
Mostly I use my cell phone. I use Spotify.
Okay.
Most of the time, but we've got this awesome speaker where Candy and I can roll stuff under that, and she doesn't have Spotify. She has another with all of these songs, that have been built up, and I'm building up my Spotify right now.
Okay.
I listen from the Beastie Boys to Pearl Jam to Luke Combs to Eric Church to Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
NWA.
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Sure.
You name it. I'm all over the place, but it's just.
Are you still like accepting new artists and songs into? You're not just okay.
No. Like two of my really good friends love Widespread Panic, and I went to Manhattan with one of them in his car, Sam, and he loves Widespread. And I mean, he put that on, and it was just awesome.
Do you have any idea what it was?
He likes the live music,
yeah.
where I like the CDs. I've got, I think, 4 Widespread CDs.
Which ones do you have?
Ain't Life Grand.
Yeah, really good one.
The one with the girl with the butterflies.
Every Day.
Yes.
That's Angelina Jolie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So that's my favorite one by
so
far.
Fucking
like
good.
I can, and the thing is, I couldn't even tell you the name of every song.
Sure.
But when I throw that thing on, it's from start to finish.
I just got
every
goosebumps.
single. Yeah, it really. I mean
Space Wrangler.
Is that the one that's kind of got a silver cover?
It's like it's kind of like a blurry image of a guy. I don't know. It's like a guy doing a karate move or something, but it's got like chili water on it. I don't know. I'm not describing the cover art right, but it's Every Day and Space Wrangler came out. Those are 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. So I probably do have that one then for sure. Yeah, and then I would have the one after that. I think I have.
Ain't Life Grand was 4.
Okay, so
and then I think Bombs and Butterflies was 5.
Yep,
it's
that's
also
that's
a good
the last one I got.
Same.
Yep.
After that, I was just kind of like, I don't know anymore.
You go see him still, don't you?
Not really. I mean, I have like my former boss. He got a ticket. He got tickets, and I went. I mean, I don't know. It's been.
Yeah.
I usually go if somebody is a bigger fan than me and they invite me, but I don't. I'm not on the Panic circuit at all. But man,
my friends just went to the one their 3-4 day show down in the Bahamas. I think it was.
Oh wow!
No, it's in Mexico.
Everybody's doing that these days.
Yeah.
Dead and Company, Fish. Widespread. In fact, Fish just did 3 days, and the first day,
that's who you go see still.
Yeah,
Fish.
they had Dave Matthews played with them, and then when their stint, their 3 days or whatever were up, everybody Trey was still around, and he played with My Morning Jacket, which whatever, but that's where I'm dialed in. I'm not. I love those early Panic albums. But I'm not live. I'm just like, it's all right.
Yeah. I think I had one Fish CD, and then the Trey Band.
Okay.
I had one of their CDs.
Okay. Do you remember which Fish you had? Or what color it was?
It's the one with the guy's face kind of.
Oh, Billy Breathes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that CD I know really well.
Around his face. That's a really good record.
Yeah.
Really good production on it, too. I mean, all of theirs have good production, but it's really weird, like it never was on my radar how much the fingerprint of a producer is on a record until when I got married, Neil Diamond put out a record called it's called like 12 songs or something like that, and Rick Rubin produced it.
Oh yeah.
He's done countless, especially like Beastie Boy, like he's done a ton, but he sent him like up into this cabin, and he just worked on songs with this guitar for X number of days or weeks or whatever it was, and then came down and played the stuff for him, and he's like, go back up there, and like it's such a good record.
That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
actually.
So. All right, Dad's vinyl is kind of your his vinyl collection was your baptism, your christening into the world of music.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even say that as much because it was, but then I had tons of cassette tapes. I had a Pull Out Alpine cassette, and I mean like Motley Crue, REO Speedwagon, Van Halen.
Yeah, but I mean, but you're skipping over the period of time where Dad's music was what you're listening to into the beginning of you buying.
But
music.
That was only. I probably listened to my dad's music till I was about 6.
Okay,
and I probably started buying music when I think I started buying music when I was 7.
What'd you buy first?
Queen, The Game.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty good record.
Yeah. That was my first one. I'm trying to think of some of my other albums. I know more. I remember more about my cassette tapes than I do. What was another one? I can't think of any of the other albums.
Where would you buy?
Through the mail.
The sign up
stamp. You pull the stamps and you put them down. I remember I'd pull, because you got those all the freaking time. So I'd be like, man, these are freaking cool. So then I'd like pull the stamps off and rank the records because I already had them and shit.
This is like the
like
Columbia House.
Yeah.
Buy, 13 for a penny.
Yep.
And then you got to buy something for.
Or you get 13 for a penny, but you got to buy that. Yeah, you get 13 for a penny, and then you buy like 6 more albums over the next 2 years.
And did you
something.
do it?
Oh yeah,
okay.
I did actually.
I feel like I signed up. I think I signed up for that more than once, and then maybe didn't fulfill my end of the obligation, and just you start getting.
Yeah, people did that, and you get these warnings.
Yeah.
I think I might have joined that damn thing probably 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
and probably the last time I did, I probably fell on that list.
Yeah.
Of not following through, or saying that wasn't. I don't know. I didn't do that.
So, this is, like I said, the 5th episode, and you are the 2nd Broncos fan. Episode 1 was a Broncos fan.
That obviously says that we have really great taste in music and football teams.
I mean, you're just
pretty much what.
You're just guys I know that said yes to doing this. So, what do you think about the trade?
Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, we gave a ton to the Seahawks. More than
2 firsts, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Drew Lock,
and then our
Noah
last
Fant.
2 firsts. Yeah, exactly. Fant was our first round pick a few years ago. Drew Lock was basically our first number one. He needed to go away. Thank goodness. It's just worth that, actually. Now that I reflect on it, that's a great trade because we sent him to Seattle.
Don't think you overpaid.
As long as he stays healthy, we did not overpay.
Okay.
If he gets hurt, that's not good. So I have to wait to see how the season unfolds. I know he'll perform.
Sure. What was your opinion of him before the trade?
I actually liked Russell Wilson.
Okay.
We played against him in the Super Bowl. I've always
you played. You got on a plane. I'm not sure you played.
Okay, well,
that was so
in New
great.
York. It was too cold. That was a real cold Super Bowl.
And
should never have Super Bowls in cold weather states.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Why?
Because you're just a little more crickety. I hate the cold.
I know I'm older now. Everybody plays for 17 weeks. A good chunk of games people are playing in cold weather.
I know. But the Super Bowl should not be one of them. Because I want to go to the Super Bowl and I don't want to go where it's cold.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize. It
is about me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is the NFL
just
aware?
To make sure you know, because the question
was
directed toward me about Russell Wilson. So I'm just,
Have you seen his? It's not new, but have you ever seen his Mr. Unlimited video?
Russell Wilson's?
Yeah.
Is it like a rap video?
No. It's just he decided that he needed to have an alter ego. And so he decided on calling himself Mr. Unlimited, and he's just walking around his place with his phone. And what's his wife? Is she a singer or a?
She's an actress, isn't she?
I feel like she's an entertainment, because I thought he like bought the rights to her masters or something.
Okay, I haven't read that much about Russell Wilson.
Anyway,
I don't really give a shit what he does in his personal life as long as he performs on the field for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, he literally, so he's walking around and he's like, and everybody has to have an alter ego. I've figured out what mine is, and it's unlimited. And then he's like, people always ask me, who's your source of inspiration? It's not Pete Carroll, man. It's me, because I'm unlimited. And he just goes on at like,
what?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
And this is something he's done recently?
A couple years ago, a few years ago. But
that's going to come out here.
No, there's nothing. It's just goofy. There's nothing creepy or scandalous about it.
So he was being funny.
I think he was being himself.
Okay, but he wasn't like serious, like join my unlimited club or some kind of bullshit.
It's just weird, man.
I can deal with that though.
But it does make the AFC West loaded.
Your QB's getting married today in Hawaii.
I think, yeah. And then, I mean, there's a chance that Justin Herbert is maybe the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the division.
He's young. He's younger than Mahomes.
Yeah. And
they just got Khalil Mack. Did you see that?
Yeah. And then
he'll be the Mack attack for
the
Chiefs.
The Amari Cooper was just traded to the Browns this morning.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I started watching baseball actually today. I was watching baseball for the last 3 hours.
What's this? 3 hours?
Yeah, because I was so just upset. I didn't think there'd be a season. I haven't watched zero, so now that I know there's a season.
What were you watching? They're not
MLB Network.
But there's not games happening.
No, they're not. But they're talking about the teams and all this stuff.
3 hours watching people talk about baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Today. I won't do that every day though.
What Derek Carr? I mean, have we seen his ceiling?
I think so.
Okay.
I do. I don't know. I don't think.
If you're in charge of the Raiders, are you moving on? Or are you going to see one more year?
I mean, I would maybe draft somebody in the 3rd or 4th round, a quarterback that's, like a bigger 6'4", 6'5" frame. I don't know who all the quarterbacks are coming out this year, but I would stick with him for one more year and make sure he improves over last year.
Right.
Because he just has some really bad games, some really average games.
Yeah.
So no, I think he's definitely the 4th in our AFC West.
Agreed.
I still have to say, it's hard between Peyton and, Patrick Mahomes and Hubert. As being who's one.
No, I think if you right now today, I think you go Mahomes, Herbert, Wilson, Carr, but that could change, week 2 of the season.
It could. It could change week 1 if Russell Wilson does what Peyton Manning did for us.
Which
first
was
game, I think he threw like 412 yards his first game or something.
And then he broke his neck, and he could only throw it for 6 yards.
For the Colts.
No, dude. The last season he played was, he had a hard time with his release, and I think it was
they switched his helmets, and he couldn't quite get it used to his helmet on his head with his neck, and it fucked up his whole game.
Is that true? Okay. Fascinating that you mentioned that used to do with the pad of paper and the music and the baseball cards, or was it baseball cards?
Yeah, baseball cards. Yeah.
So you would write stuff down about baseball cards?
No, I would. Let me think about this. Okay, so I would literally keep scores of baseball games, not just the Royals, but any game that I watched. I would have a notebook with the people batting,
like
and
the A's
struck
beat
out
the White Sox today, and
I would have the statistics. If I listened to the game, I'd write the statistics down. If I didn't listen to the game, I cut out the statistics on out of the paper and glued it to my pad.
Wow! And where was this idea born from?
I don't know. At that point, I was, 7, 8, 9, 10, so I played outside a lot, but then that's what I did with my free time is the music. I was laying over my bed and listening to my stereo and then cutting out the baseball stuff, and like I said, whatever Casey Kasem, the top 40, I would do that. And I think it was Sundays, I'm pretty sure.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I just love it. And then, of course, later on, fast forward when I'm in college, I'm acing statistics 1, statistics 2. It's like the 1 and economics for whatever reason, especially the stats. I didn't have to even study outside of class. It just came so natural.
Wow.
But I can't say that about many other college courses. but those stats 1 and 2, I just love numbers.
At some point, the stats and the numbers evolved, I believe, into this remarkable affinity for memorabilia.
Yeah.
When did that start?
Probably around the baseball cards, honestly. The cards, I'd say. But then, and I had ticket stubs. I had autographed baseballs. Didn't really have jerseys. And then literally I was the GM at Coyote Grill in Mission Mall and the security guy of the mall. Of course, we knew him because we worked 6 days a week, between 10 and 14-hour days. His name was Jim, and he was going through a divorce. And he knew we always talked sports and stuff. And he's like, I will give you, like, basically he sold me, which now the value of the stuff he sold me, I mean, like, if I found the right people to sell it to, would be, I don't know, probably $80,000 worth of stuff that he gave me.
That you still have?
I have some of it.
What happened?
I've sold some of it.
Okay.
When we were stuck in that rental house, I had to sell some stuff because, $2,400 and being furloughed during COVID and me losing my job for almost 6 months. Candy and I didn't have jobs, so that's why we got stuck in the house.
Okay.
Because she was furloughed and I left the golf course, or the golf course let me go. So, but what was the question?
Security guard.
So basically, he unloaded Derek Jeter game worn autographed jersey, Derek Jeter bat, Derek Jeter batting helmet, Cal Ripken autographed jersey, autographed baseball, Marino autographed. Did I say Marino helmet already? Marino helmet, Elway helmet, both real helmets, not just the replica ones.
Right.
Golly, there was a few other things too. Oh, the Marino is a autograph helmet and a jersey.
Nice.
Barry Sanders.
No isotoner gloves in there.
No.
Remember those? Yes. Take care of the hands that take care of you. God, those commercials aired for years. I feel like he just did a retro one too.
Oh man.
But anyway,
so probably did actually.
Are you so you're GM in Coyote Grill when you acquire that stuff?
Mm-hmm. The point was I sold. So he wanted $1,000 for that. And then I had probably 100,000 baseball cards at that point, and I sold about 60,000 of them to my bookkeeper because she was wanting to get started collecting for her son.
Okay.
And so I got rid of those for about the same amount of money. So basically I didn't exchange money, but I exchanged over half of my cards for this memorabilia.
Cool.
And so then that's how I kind of started gaining momentum. I had like some Chiefs stuff. I had Royals stuff. I have local Kansas City stuff, but that's when I kind of expanded some of my memorabilia to other teams. And of course I loved Elway. So that
how did the Broncos thing happen again?
What do you mean?
Like, how did you?
Oh, how am I a Broncos fan? Because it's the best team in the AFC West, sir. I mean, I'm just waiting for you to. I should have brought some over.
This is a nonfiction podcast. We don't have creative liberties to just speak lies.
What color is your Gatorade? Exactly. What color is the cup and Gatorade together, Blair?
If God's not a Broncos fan, why are sunsets orange and blue?
No, my dad went to the University of Denver.
Okay.
And he graduated from there. And then my grandparents and my aunt and uncle lived there my whole life. So basically, we would go to Denver at least 4 times a year, if not like 6 times a year, every single year as a kid, all the way until... I mean, I kept going there.
Right.
Like the Rockies came, I go to Rockies games. And when I was at K-State, we'd drive because there was people that were in my house from Wichita, and a lot of Wichita people like the Broncos. So there was literally like 8 of us in our house, and we would go to at least 2 games a year from Manhattan.
Wow.
So instead of going to Chiefs games.
Never been to an Avs game?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Oh,
cool.
And the Nuggets.
Nice.
Yeah. I love the Rockies, though. I saw the Rockies play at Mile High Stadium before their stadium was done.
Nice.
The first year that
was
they
that
played.
96? Was that when Coors Field?
I think it was 96 or 97.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, something right around there.
Pretty wild to be debuting your expansion MLB team like within a handful of months before your almost 40-year-old NFL franchise wins back-to-back championships. And not to mention the fact that the Avs had just won one right then too.
98.
Yep, and the Avs won it in 95. Yeah. And the Nugget, who's that like insanely? Who's the powerhouse guy that the Nuggets?
I don't really pay attention to NBA anymore. Unfortunately, I couldn't.
But
tell you.
Would you say that your affinity for memorabilia is as strong as it is today as it was when you started, or has it tapered, or
it's
grown?
It's tapered off just because of all the COVID stuff that went through. I promised my wife I wouldn't buy any more cards, and I haven't, or memorabilia. So I've kind of put a halt to it all, and I was trying to sell some of it on eBay, but then because that's how you're supposed to get rid of cards.
Yeah.
And I've got graded cards. I have lots of really good cards, but I just
Did you make that promise to her before she was your wife, and then you were on the sly buying stuff anyway?
No, that was my first wife when I was doing that
you were
stuff.
okay. But wait, was there wrapping, like you bought something
No,
and,
no, it wasn't
and
like
gave it
some
to yourself for Christmas? Was there?
No,
Did I hear?
I did not do that. No,
Okay,
but
all right.
I think that she did when we were in that house. She was noticing at one point there was the same size boxes coming, and there were bobbleheads, sports bobbleheads. So I think after 5 or 6 of those, I think that's when she kind of said, "You need to quit with the bobbleheads." I was like, I'm going to quit with everything.
All right.
So yeah.
But is everything on display, or is it?
I mean, actually, yeah. It was awesome. So Candy's like, yeah, you got the basement, and the guest, which is her office, but it was like the guest bedroom, and then we have an unfinished part where we just got the dartboard up, but we have to sell this furniture that she was refurnishing to make room for the ping pong table, which is the plan, and then the pool table's going out where we have a second table and where all of my jerseys are and stuff. So, and then we're building these top shelves, kind of like what you have here, but if that was a shelf a little bit lower. All along, when you come down the stairs, and that's where I'm gonna have all the bobbleheads. So
Okay.
right now the bobbleheads in the unfinished part, but they are unpacked.
Pool, ping pong, and darts in your basement.
Yep.
Is there a bar down there?
No, there is not. But
is there a bathroom?
Nice.
Nice.
And a shower. Yep.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So,
and then it's a walkout. So
okay.
It's a walkout. So the cool thing we did though is. We have a deck too that's pretty good size and covered. Well, we didn't do stairs going down because they're like $7,500 for the builder to do it, and we're just squeaking in to get into this house and get out of that rental. And so it's kind of cool because now up there you got a fan, and that's where we grill, and we have a TV we put out there, and then down below is completely separate. We have another TV and a table there. We're gonna eventually put a hot tub down there under the covered part. So, but we've got to keep digging ourselves out. What?
This is in Spring Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Spring Hill.
So what, like 30 minutes to get here?
It was. That's why I was late, because I was thinking like for my old house, it was like exactly 35 minutes to get.
Yeah.
But I actually made it in 30.
Nice.
So
small pleasures of like
when
you set. I know you use your Waze app, but when you hit start and it gives you the time, and then you're shaving minutes, you're always like.
Well, because I told you 2:15, and really it said 2:19, but I got here at 12.
Yeah.
So it actually shaved off to my advantage. So
how is married life the second time around?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Never have moments where you're like, why the fuck?
No.
Okay.
Never.
So so if you could try to tell me the ratio of you and the person that you are as far as like somebody to be married to now versus back then, that I mean that has to be a part of it too, and then also like just choice in partners, right?
Yeah.
Like so if you would have met, how old were you when you got married the first time?
29.
Okay, if you would have married Candy at 29, how do you think it would have gone?
I mean, I was in the restaurant business,
right?
So I was not a good person to be married to, being a restaurant manager. So it just happened to be that my first wife was a server of mine, and she was finishing up nursing school at Wichita State. So we were around each other all the time, and
you guys got married because that's what we think we're supposed to do.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, honestly, I got married to her because she was the first girl that I dated that didn't annoy me in some way.
Okay.
That I didn't at one point be like, man, you need to go home. I need to go home. We need to go to a different room or something. Like, it was just like I never got. And every other person I dated prior to that, that happened at some point. So
yeah, people are annoying.
Well, they're right. Well, they can be. I mean, I have a lot of patience, I think, too. So, but when it all said and done, she grew up and I didn't. Is what the whole reason we got divorced.
I was curious if there was any of that.
Yeah,
in there,
like I'm young at heart, and I'm like a big kid, I guess. Candy even says that at times.
Yeah.
I mean, but she likes,
but you like what you like.
I
mean, there's something, it's hard to put a value on knowing what you like, and then like having those things, if they're in your life, continue to just give you joy.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, man,
How would you answer that question?
I was just kind of trying to head that direction. It's really hard for me to, like, I can't just, like a surgeon go in and take the restaurant industry out and look at it objectively, because I was she was a server, I was chef, and
that's not even an option. Like, that's how much it's in my blood, the restaurant industry.
Well, I know, but I mean, I try to, I know I'm imagining that they exist, but there are probably restaurant people, I know there are, that have good, healthy marriages, but
first marriages?
I don't know. I think so. I
can't think of any.
I think of, I wonder often about like Colby and Megan Gerald's,
Was it their first? That was their first?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it feels like they've been together forever. Yeah. So, but
for some reason I think one of them was married before.
Okay.
Weren't they from Wichita?
I mean, I don't know about Megan, but Colby went to East with me.
But didn't he? He never ended up in Wichita.
He might have.
Yeah,
he might have.
I can't remember.
But
so you were in Lancer, huh?
Yeah. So, were you at South?
I was at Shawnee Mission West.
West.
Take a liking to a Viking.
Take a liking to a Viking. Okay.
Yep.
But it's really hard. I'm just now, I think, at 47, sort of able to look back on chapters of my life. And I don't know if I would have had, like a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday kind of job, if things would have been different. Probably not.
You never tried that when you were in college or anything like that?
No.
Like that type of job?
I mean, I started in the restaurant business when I was 15, 16.
I started I worked in a grocery store. In the meat department.
Yeah.
That's how I started.
And I did, I did, like, when I was finishing college, and then after I graduated, I did some social work stuff, but it didn't pay very well, so I was still, in the restaurant business, bartending, expoing, whatever.
Was that your degree, social work?
Psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so I'm not sure that I would have been a good husband. Not to say that I was a bad one, but like, like really good, like just somebody that, yeah, everybody's like, I bet that guy's, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, but that's bullshit.
But the same is true. I could say the same for her. I mean, we were years into, like, things were already kind of falling apart, and when at the point that she realized and then informed me of some things personally for her that she'd carried with her whole life that,
She never told you before?
Well, she didn't realize until she started going to seeing a therapist.
Oh, yeah.
And not that she had never seen one before, but this particular therapist, she realized, because she has a younger sister, and the younger sister is like notoriously like she was a challenging baby. Like, just it was rough on.
She was dropping her head too many times?
No, she was just needy, and like their mom always says colicky.
Isn't that all females? Just kidding.
No comment. But the point is that the vibe that was, I don't know that it was necessarily ever said to her, but the vibe that she felt often in her home was, you got to keep doing what you're doing, stay out of trouble, because we're busy dealing with this baby over here. And, on some sense,
everything else got pushed on the back burner.
And then so she ultimately discovered that she had always felt alone and didn't want to feel alone, and then also wanted to feel cared for. But I mean, we're in this house and expecting number 2, and things are tough. I'm still chefing when she realizes that. And it was like, well, I mean, I hope that you wanting to get married or choosing me for your part, I hope that you weren't hoping for me that I would fix those things, because like we're in this too deep for me to like start over and approach it with that knowledge. So yeah. Because I came home, and she was, 6 months pregnant, I think, standing in the family room where we just were with the dogs, and she was crying, and I was like, what's going on? And she's like, we're barely doing this with one baby. What are we going to do when the second baby gets here? And I was like, yeah, man, I don't know. And that's when I reached out to like, all the purveyors, somebody hire me, please get me out of this.
But did you really? Okay, so that is, exactly. That was like ultimatum I was given, and we were kind of on a different direction, and that's why we had JC. But did you truly want to get out of that?
Out of the restaurant
business?
Yeah.
Were you missing out on your daughter's life?
All of it.
Like
yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But she was only 4 at the time.
She was 2.
Oh, they're 2 years apart?
They're 3 years apart.
Oh, okay.
But
gotcha.
She's a December baby. He's an October baby.
Because that was what happened to me, but I didn't want to get out of it. Like,
well,
I was
she didn't. It wasn't
an ultimatum.
No, it wasn't an ultimatum. It was like this, like real, raw, genuine panic. Like, holy shit! We've got this mortgage and a second baby on the way, and things are so. And when I was the chef job I had then, I had a deal with the GM. Where I would bail at like 5:15 on Mondays, and I would pick her up, and I would bring her home. And if I ever had a day off or two, like not actually going at all, sometimes you're there on your day off. And,
for meetings.
The old clerks. I'm not even supposed to be here today, but sleep and do laundry, and then it was just right back into it. And in that cycle, weeks become months, become years quickly. Yeah. And all of a sudden you're like...
Well, I think it could still be that way if you're not careful.
Yeah.
If people aren't careful.
Yeah. And that's, all of that is, assuming that you're making quality life decisions and being health conscious, and you go in, you do your job, you leave, even if it's an 18-hour day, and you turn it off and you rest, but then you throw in the party element of the restaurant business, and then you're definitely not getting your best potential self out of bed every day, because you're because you're gonna drink anywhere from having 1 glass of wine up to 2.5 hours later, after I got off work, it's like, oh shoot, it's midnight or 12:30, and I get home, or 2, and then I get home, and you get up and you're like, I gotta be back there at 10 or 9 or 8. Yeah.
And then,
I gotta pee. I'm gonna take a quick break. So anyway, man, it's really hard to imagine, a lot of different things. Like, I don't know. I wasn't ready, developed, mature, a lot of different things to get married. But that's what we think we're supposed to do.
I know. And luckily, I think people are waiting longer now. From what I've heard, like the age now, the average age is like 32. I just heard that the other day.
Wow.
So a majority of your, whatever they are, they're not millennials. What are they now? Some other name. Like your 21 to 28.
Oh, yeah. I don't think
that's.
I forget.
But basically, they're starting their career and dating, but not totally getting married until they're in their 30s. Yeah. Because you just don't know you have no idea about anything really in your 20s.
Yeah, man.
To commit for the rest of your life. And heck, I wasn't even ready at 29.
Yeah.
So, you're like you said, it's just like, oh, I thought I was supposed to do this. So.
Well, and I didn't have, my parents' divorce screwed me up pretty good. And then, but I thought that was, that's have you seen, Inside Out, the movie?
Who's in it?
It's animated.
Oh.
And there's like characters for each emotion, like inside of us. and they're like managing, like there's an angry guy. It's so amazing.
When was it made?
Not that long ago. It's
okay.
so freaking good. I mean, even
did you see it in the movie theater?
No.
Oh, okay. It's
But
called Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Okay.
It's about a little girl, and she's a hockey player, and her folks move, and she's like super bummed because she's like got a life at age 10 or whatever. And so inside her is this office, and there's these like four of like sadness, joy, and there's an angry dude, and they're like taking like core memories are like kind of protected like in this vault, and new memories are happening, and they get like funneled into like, oh, this is a sad thing, blah blah blah, and the core memories are like they're protected, and if they become vulnerable, it's really fucking good, man. But anyway, the point is, I knew that my folks splitting up like affected me, but I thought it was over here in this childhood file or globe or whatever. I didn't realize that, just as an example, that was like a carved out dry riverbed, and there's a lot of those different, that affect who I became and who I am now, and a lot of unmade connections just for me and my own stuff. Like, forget about the partner that I chose and the business that I was in. It's like there's so much just in here and in here that I hadn't even like I didn't even know that it was a vault that had a lid that could be opened. Right. Anyway,
well, when you throw the kids into the equation, it's you're forever tied to that person.
Yeah, and that's there's so many situations where I've found myself being like, man, I wish I never would have, but I none of those can even come close. Like, I love my kids so much, and they're so great. And she feels the same way. I mean, I don't think she like harbors a bunch of ill will towards me. But I think given the chance, I don't think she would change it because our kids are who they are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway, that's really great. 'Cause you guys, when you guys got together, it was like, well, that's got Hot and Heavy Fling written all over it, and then it, weeks became months, and then all of a sudden,
then we broke up for about 3 months, before,
because you were being
because of my parenting style was
right.
She wasn't used to me, and there were some things that she couldn't even fathom the thought, and I was just trying to some of those things where I was just trying to survive. Because you don't ever get married or have kids thinking that you're going to be divorced,
right?
Or you're going to be taking care of them at some point by yourself.
Yeah.
Not so. I had to work through a lot of that stuff because I didn't know. There's no manual or. But
then you went around that time. You went to the breakthrough stuff, right?
I did that after we got back together. Yeah, I hadn't gone through breakthrough yet,
and
so that was awesome.
I know it was then, but how about now?
Yeah,
your opinion is exactly the same
about breakthrough. Oh, yeah.
Are you?
Absolutely.
Is there still like a continued level of involvement?
It's the Heart Connection, and it's they still have one in Arkansas. They started doing one in Springfield, and then they have the one in Olathe. So I think now there's 5 sessions a year. And then there's continual things like there's a Facebook page that we
Yeah, but do you go to stuff or?
We went to something in Arkansas probably 10 months ago.
Okay, the two of you.
Even
though you went through it at
separate
times.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just really it works with your baggage, like the dry river banks you were talking about. Like that stuff gets exposed through different. Processes or whatever.
Yeah.
Or what am I looking for? When you
by processes, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think when the activities, the different activities that you're doing opens up some of those things, and then you have this whole support team that kind of helps you through it. Because some of the stuff, people put abuse, way behind them, and it never comes back out again. And some of these sessions brings things out that you have no idea.
Yeah.
And some of these people, can't handle it. There's people that run out of the class, and don't come back that day, because and not that it happens a ton.
Right.
It happened. We had 3 different weekends, and I think it happened once, but the people just went out in the lobby and had to they just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, man. It's deep.
I mean, so yeah, I think it's like going to a counselor or whatever, on steroids. I mean, like, it's just like if you did a 2-year session with a psychiatrist or a counselor, I think it's the equivalent of doing this breakthrough over 3 weekends. I mean, it's that powerful if you're engaged.
Right.
You can't be like,
half-assed.
You're 16 years old, you got to go do that. I mean, 16 is kind of young, so really,
right.
You can't make somebody do it.
Right.
Doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to engage like people do at school or other things.
So I mean, the parenting thing. Do you, are there things now that you're like, I wish I would have had a different approach to that particular piece with that particular kid, or do you feel pretty happy, content, comfortable with the way?
Oh gosh, no. I think there's always a point where you can be like, God, I wish I would have handled that situation differently.
But do you feel like that usually applies to big things or little things or a combo of? Well,
it's hard to tell because it's really, there's no way for me to measure what the divorce did to the kids.
Right.
So they can, and the boys, boys just don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really open up. So like Logan, there's definitely some challenges with him. He's 20. He doesn't really, school wasn't his thing, but I think part of that was COVID hitting his senior year and taking that away from him, and part of his junior year, or mostly his senior year, and then just the whole being in, honestly, with him, having him in Johnson County where he sees all these kids getting new cars and privilege and not having to work, where he's always had to work. I think there's resentment there.
Yeah, that was me.
So he is still, bitter. He still makes comments when I get to see him, when I take him to work or pick him up from work, because he, had some issues with the cars and not being responsible. And so he doesn't have a car now because he totaled 3 cars in like a year. So
is he will anybody even insure him?
Oh, I mean, my ex-wife had him on her insurance, and they dropped her because of. It wasn't because of the accidents, though. It was because, well, I don't know. I think it was because of the accidents, but they said they were told us because he had, so many registering for so many cars and vehicles, because he kept totaling them. They wouldn't insure that because basically had 4 cars insured in 1 year.
Yeah.
And they all, for whatever reason.
But he doesn't have a car right now because he doesn't have the money to get one? Okay.
Yeah.
And nobody's helping him?
Well, no, my ex-wife's definitely helping him. He's staying with her.
No, I mean, nobody's going to help him buy a car because
he's got to show some responsibility. Yeah. Right now, he can't even get to work at 8 o'clock on time. He somehow has found the only job working in a warehouse that allows an individual to be late all 5 days a week, up anywhere from 1 minute late to 15 minutes late, and still keep their job.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
better than not keeping it.
Just like any other kid, they're gonna get away with what they can get away with. So.
So let's see. Did you graduate West in 90 or okay?
1990.
And talk to me about the process of landing on K-State. Like, how did your college vision research?
So really, it's interesting because we were really close to Lawrence. So my junior year and my senior year, we had friends that were a year older than us that were going to school. So we were going up to Lawrence probably every other week at some point. It might have been a field party on a Thursday, or it might have been, at a bar because we had a fake ID back then. I'm trying to think of the bar that had music, had bands all the time, and I saw tons of people there. Bench warmers? Is that it? No.
There was the bottleneck.
Yes, thank you.
I used to fake ID, go up to, see local bands.
Yeah, absolutely. Really awesome music there. So we did that. I mean, a lot because we loved music in high school.
But that didn't.
So that being so close, our junior senior year doing that, or I'm like, man, I really want to get away.
Yeah.
It really is close, and back then now it's way more traffic, so it takes a lot longer to get there, even though the speed limit's 75. But so I wanted to be close enough. I actually applied and would have gone to Arkansas, of all things.
Fayetteville?
But, yeah.
Okay.
And I got accepted, but I didn't really, in my senior year of high school, I dropped out of Algebra 2 because I had issues with my teacher. Didn't take extra science or anything. So my whole first semester would have been like things that didn't count toward my degree. And then two of my really good friends, their older brothers went to K-State. So we went and visited them and realized, okay, Aggieville is pretty kick-ass, and people aren't not
a bad music scene there either.
Oh, gosh, no. Oh, my God. We saw so many different bands up there in college. I mean, that's actually the first time we saw 311.
Nice.
So 311... Well, no, actually, the first time we saw them was at the Aviator Live, and then they came, Aviator in Wichita.
Okay.
And that was like in 91 or 92, I can't remember. And then they came to, it was a bar called Snookies, and upstairs was a different name, but they came on like a Tuesday with The Urge. So 311, The Urge were there. This is right when they were both coming to the scene before Urge even had an album. And we all worked in different places. That would have been 93, I think. Or no, it was 94. But regardless, afterwards, they all came and partied at our house. And we had a whole, people still that was at K-State when we were there all know about that party when 311 came back with the tour bus, showed up at our house. I think it was a Thursday night. And we partied till the sun came up.
Damn.
And when you have something like that there, you're like, shoot, what music do you play? You don't want to play their music.
No.
So we were playing Beastie Boys.
Okay.
And we were jumping up and down, and we had this gas mask and all this. And it was just so much fun. And literally the next day, our wooden floor in the living room was bowed down. And we're renting this house. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, we're going to have to fix this floor. This is not good because there's so many people in the. Oh, I don't know. We thought we were going to be able to fix it, but maybe if we push it. Whatever. No, we didn't fix the floor.
So, K-State was for sure happening by the time you graduate high school.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We knew we wanted to, there's. They were in the fraternity.
Did you? So. I ended up going to a couple of SIG-UP parties the summer of after I graduated.
Yeah.
So it was on my radar when I got to Pitt State, and then I penned pretty quick, like within a couple of weeks, I think.
You were SIG-UP at Pitt State?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, not for long. I was the first one pinned, and then they took it back.
You went through all of this stuff as a pledge, or you mean?
I started going to, but by the time halfway through the semester, they took my pin back.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't care for some of my choices at the time, or they didn't care for how vocal I was about some of my choices at the time. But did you pen pretty quick in your?
Well, ours sounded different because we basically had to go through the whole fall semester. We had study hours. We had times that we had to be on campus. We had to be on campus at 8 a.m. We had chores. We had activities we had to do. So we had to prove that we wanted to be a SIG-UP. And then basically our president, who's passed away, Scott Phillips, was the first pen. And then everything else after that was grades, and we started with 27, ended up having 25 make it, but we didn't get that. Didn't happen until February the following semester, and things are way different now. But
right, and
I kind of realize every university is different, no matter if it's all SIG-UP, for whatever reason.
Yeah. But so you're living as a freshman. Are you on campus in the dorms?
We're in the fraternity at K-State.
First semester?
Yeah, but you live in the house. Yeah, so that's why there's hazing, and things
course.
like that.
So you never lived in a dorm? Okay.
Never.
So what are you hearing music-wise as a freshman SIG-UP at K-State?
We were...
Because you.
Well, it's so funny. So this is the first time. K-State people think about the country. I did. There was people in the house that will listen to country music like Garth Brooks.
Sure.
So I'd heard a little bit of that, but we're listening to, AC/DC. Hair bands were in play at that point. Yeah. So Warrant, Cherry Pie came out that year. That was like my theme song. And it's still, I've referenced as, cherry pie. And with these guys, I still see and talk to. Poison, Shit Winger. I mean, all of those. But Motley Crue, Def Leppard.
Yeah.
I mean, I really remember, though, that AC/DC.
Thunderstruck.
They came into Manhattan.
Really?
When we were pledges that year, and we worked
played a
our
show?
pledge class. Yeah, they played a show, the Razor's Edge. I even have my little backstage pass because we set up the stage, so we were their stagehand. So our pledge class set up the whole stage with the people that worked at Bramblage. This is when Bramblage was brand spanking new.
Okay.
The new basketball.
Yeah.
And that's where they played.
Wow.
And they set up this whole stage, and we were backstage, and we tore down. We were like on the stagehands.
Yeah, the roadies.
Our pledge class.
Yeah.
So it was awesome seeing those guys backstage. And as much as I love music, because, I mean, we went to like this place called Bodie's and saw Beck play there.
Nice.
In downtown Kansas City. We went to another place it was called the Rumba Box, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
But there was like, all of a sudden you'd have these, Kansas City's totally different now, the way the downtown is.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's all nice, but back then there would just be these vacant rooms, and somebody would rent it out, and one was called like the Rumba Box. It was written on the glass, and I think that's where we saw Beck, I believe that's what it was called. But we would drive from Manhattan all over, Wichita, Kansas City. There was like, we loved music, so we would drive and go to these shows.
Did you take a car to Manhattan? From Casey?
I did. But
did
I
most
lost
people?
It for a semester because I got bad grades, so I didn't have a car.
Your
it was
parents?
about that. Yeah, they warned me, and I was like, okay. So that semester, I think I went to a lot of shows because we were always in this. One of my buddies bought an old van, ambulance van, and so we put futons in there and put carpet, and that's where we would drive. I mean, anywhere we could go see some, like Frog Pond was another girls band that I saw a lot up in Westport. I mean, just.
So you didn't have this experience where you're arriving, Erik Hess, 18, from Shawnee Mission West, with your musical tastes and your CD collection, cassette, and then all these other guys in your house. Have their own, musical collections and tastes that they're bringing, and you guys like exposing each other to new stuff, or is everybody kind of just listening to the same stuff?
Like, people didn't really listen to hair bands. There was one other guy in that house that listened to your Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Slaughter, Poison, Warrant, and stuff. One of my pledge brothers, and here's another thing is, when I was, this is going to sound horrible, but I'm going to say it because it's important to the music piece, is when I was in high school, I was the best drunk driver of all my friends.
Oh, boy.
So I know, which is a horrible thing to say, but they listened to my music. So I exposed them to whatever I listened to. So that's why I like Warrant, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich, that CD. There's 10 of my best friends from high school I'm still friends with, was exposed to that because I had it in my car.
Sure.
I mean, so it was like all of those, the Winger, the Poison.
You said the
Motley Crue, like Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
Everyone knew
you
that
said you
song
had
from.
A pull-out Alpine?
I did. I had a pull-out Alpine.
Did you ever?
A stick shift car, a Tracer.
Same.
Yeah.
But I had, I considered myself fortunate enough to not go pull-out Alpine. Like, I ended up having the kind where you just take the face off.
Oh, yeah.
So
that came, I think, right after I got mine. Like, that wasn't an option. But all the money I made as a babysitter and mowing yards, I used to put this stereo system in my Tracer.
Same.
And that's what I had my sophomore, junior, senior year, and freshman year of college.
Okay.
I had that thing. So I had a box we'd made. My buddy Matt Hay and I had made a box, a boom box in the back. I had tweeters put in the pull-out Alpine, subwoofers. I mean,
hell yeah, dude.
So even though it was a 1987 Tracer, I think it was. It was so loud you could hear a bump up. So like NWA, when that came out, that was one that I Eazy-E, I had those, and with the it sounded, awesome.
Did you ever listen to DJ Magic Mike?
I've heard of him, but no,
dude.
I didn't have
that stuff. Like, I mean, that'll shred your 6x9s.
Yeah.
You know, you better have a subwoofer if you're gonna rock him.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. And my dad was so he couldn't believe you're spending $1,700 on this stereo system, knowing I had the money in the bank. I mean, it was back then. I remember we went to Santa Fe Auto off of 87th Street. That's where you went.
That's where I got mine installed.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's where I got all my stuff done and bought and everything. And yeah, so going up to. I mean, so basically, there were like 10 of my friends listened to what I listened. I mean, AC/DC was one, Van Halen.
Okay.
And then, the whole thing came through with the grunge. So, like, we actually drove to Lawrence for that Pearl Jam show on the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right when that album came out and that was that show, I mean, we freaking were in Lawrence and it was like our freaking playground.
Yeah, man.
Because we loved the music and that was, stories upon stories about that day, but
yeah, there was a weekend-long music festival happening that weekend. So we were at Day on the Hill and then went, and spent the weekend at this music festival.
Where was that? Is it in Lawrence? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
Pete Fish Farm.
Okay. I remember hearing about that, actually.
So
who was playing at that? Do you remember?
Well, that's what I was going to say is that a lot of the bands that we would be going up to Lawrence to see, as juniors, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, by that time they've
So you were in high school when you went up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of those bands by that time were established and, so it first was called the Green Eggs and Ham Jam, and then it was called Omega, and then
yes,
yeah,
yes,
because Omega was happening that weekend of Day on the Hill.
Oh my gosh, I didn't go to that one, but there was another one, wasn't there?
Well, then it became Wakarusa.
Oh yeah,
and then that was around for a good while, and then they moved Wakarusa to Arkansas.
I totally
like 15, 16
so that was pretty amazing. But then my buddy Hobbs and I went to Woodstock in '95.
Oh wow!
So we went to Socrates. So we literally there was like 8 of us. We're all around getting messed up in Manhattan, after working in the restaurants. And we're like, man, we should really do this. This is like 3 days and all this stuff. And so then I ordered, because back then I did some stupid things where I got like 10 credit cards.
Yeah.
And I thought I could max them all out in college and did. But part of that was going to all these
Mission
shows.
accomplished.
So yes, I accomplished that. And that show was one of them. So I remember I ordered tickets. And they were like $250, I think, or maybe $350 each. Back then was a lot. I mean, it's a lot now.
Yeah.
But it was like Woodstock, you
Yeah.
know, and so they sent me like 8 by mistake and charged me only for 2. But I was so worried, because I was traveling a lot. I mean, we went to Mardi Gras that year.
Oh,
we
man.
went out to see some bands in California, out in Redondo Beach and
Wow.
Huntington Beach. I mean, we traveled all the freaking time.
Would you tell your parents about these trips after
I
the
have
fact?
told them about the trips after the fact.
After the fact.
Oh God, no, not that. Well, I'm sure my dad was like, "Why? How'd you put $10,000 on a credit card when pictures of beer are $1?"
Yeah.
But I even sent those tickets back. But it was just that whole festival was like something I've never ever been to before. I mean, the only one, like I went to this festival, this Born and Raised this summer. And I think that was September in Oklahoma,
Okay.
right by Rockfest.
Okay.
So the same place they do that, but it was like Cody Jinks was there. It was kind of like outlaw country, and
Nice.
it was freaking awesome. And Candy and I camped out, and that was like the
Like
closest thing.
camped?
Yeah, camped, yeah, in
Okay.
tents, yeah. But they set it up, so it's kind of called glamping.
Yeah.
I didn't take the tent myself or do all that. And it was pretty hot, so they had pools. You could rent a pool and have it by your tent, so you could like sit in the pool to cool down and shit. We
Nice.
didn't do the pool thing, but the people
Right.
next to us did.
Right.
That was where you camped multiple days.
Yeah.
That was I hadn't done it since Woodstock
And
around a music
Woodstock,
festival.
was it at the actual same
Socrates, New
that's-
York.
Okay. And then
like
did it?
you had an area where you color coded, and then buses would take you from your car all the way up to like 5 miles away because there were so many people out there that so you couldn't go get back to your car realistically, because
Right.
you're like 3 to 5 miles from where you're camping. But what happened was it rained so much
Yeah.
on day 3 that where we were camped, because it was just farmland with like hay and grass and worn out shit, where you couldn't even get back. So people had made this human chain to help people get up this huge hill where there was no way. I mean, it was like when you see peace, love, and I mean, that second Woodstock was just like the first one. Now, I heard there was another one like 2 or 3, 5 years later where there was fightings and all this shit. The only thing that happened at ours was some people OD'd on bad acid. There was like 5 deaths.
Bad acid.
So, yeah, it's like some traced. I mean, now it should be like the equivalent of fentanyl. People dying on that. But they're saying, don't take Felix the Cat, the Green Dot. Like they're telling the crowd, And another big thing I remember about that is when Green Day was playing, people were throwing mud. I mean, it was just like...
I feel like there's some footage of that. Like
there is, and it was like, and of course we were messed up, so it's kind of like watching this mud flying through the air was kind of like... That was equivalent to when I saw Smashing Pumpkins and Beastie Boys play at Sandstone, and when Sabotage came on, they were launching cups, like all these cups. During the Beastie Boys, I just went on a tangent, but
no,
same type of thing.
Who's launching cups? People, the crowd.
All the people, the crowd.
Okay.
I mean, everybody is throwing a cup. I mean, empty cups. It wasn't like vicious, full cups of.
Sure.
But it was so, it was just really cool.
Yeah.
But that's another band I've seen a lot. Is besides 311 would be Beastie Boys.
Really?
So.
Never saw the Beastie Boys, and I really wish I would have.
Yeah.
But, So, 311 Music was kind of, without hesitation, what you tabbed.
Yeah.
And that's like their
Very
second.
first.
Is it their first?
First.
Okay.
Very first one.
93.
Studio album. Uh-huh.
And how did you...
I mean, because we were bouncing around in the music scenes, we
how
had
did-
seen them play in Wichita at the Aviator. And we
Okay.
didn't know. I mean, the group I hung out with, because we weren't living in the fraternity, but we were living in this apartment, and it was where the ambulance, it was like 12 of the apartments, 4 of the 12 were SIG-Eps.
Okay.
So we kind of, that's where the out-of-house parties were. That's where, I had a dart board all through college, and we literally would play darts and listen to music. And I have, I finally, I have probably 1,000 CDs.
Nice.
Okay, in my collection, and I have them all displayed now in my basement, in my sports area. And I want to somehow get it, solidified, but I'll just sit and look at some of those CDs. I'm just like, dang, man, that's a great CD. We have a record player, so I'm playing records.
Sure.
So I've been buying records, and besides, Spotify, but it's just that had reggae, it had rock, it had rap, it had everything into one. And at that time, there was no other band that sounded like 311 or this music.
No.
And we were all always, because we were seeing concerts. There was about 7 of us that were always going to music. If there was a show, a live show in Manhattan, any day of the week we were there.
Okay.
For that whole 93, 94, 95, and even into 96. That's all I spent. Because I love sports now. I didn't go to games back then. All I went to was music shows.
Wow.
So when I was traveling, I did go when we went to Woodstock. We did go to the Orioles game and Red Sox game that night.
Okay.
And the strike happened. We went to the very last MLB game.
No kidding.
The Orioles against the Red Sox.
As
and
part
at
of your
midnight,
Woodstock.
on our way to Socrates, and we were going to, my buddy, we had tickets to Royals, Cardinals, Reds, and Indians on the way back, and all the games got canceled. There was that's when the strike happened. So that's why that just now baseball is saying they finally got an agreement yesterday was so relieving for me, because that 95 year was so awful for me. For baseball not to be going on. So it kind of brought back a flashback of something that I had put out of my mind that would never happen again.
Well,
and it
then
almost
you're
happened
for
99 days.
Then
this
your
year.
3 hours on the couch today are certainly justified.
That's exactly why.
How did baseball become so precious? Did you play?
Uh-huh.
And how long?
I played all through high school, but I didn't play for the high school team. I played for 3 and 2 at 3 and 2 and stuff. So, and then I've just literally I played softball ever since college.
Oh,
and I
that's
just
right.
hung
That's
up
right.
my cleats when I turned 50.
You're not playing anymore?
No, last April, I played the fall prior to my 50th, and I haven't played since.
Why?
Man, wait till you hit 50.
I mean,
The body changes.
okay, all right.
Pulling hammies.
Yeah,
thinking like, okay, I'm not going to run real hard because I don't want to pull my hamstring. But when I'm playing, I'm too competitive.
Yeah.
So I do, and then I hurt myself. And I just got hurt way too many times when I was 49 and 48. So I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to put my body through that.
Okay.
So
I ask because my boy, who it turns out like might be good at everything sports wise. His mom said, without question, there has to be a 2-sport maximum per season. So he hasn't played. He's playing flag football now for his first season, and he's playing baseball, which meant soccer got cut. And there's and I coached his team for the last 2 seasons, so it was a little
soccer team.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so it was a little. I mean, because somebody had to. It
Oh
wasn't.
no, I know. My daughter played soccer at
So
his age, and it was brutal for those 2 years. No offense.
So that we see it happening with a lot of his peers too, though, where like some families they'll sign him up for everything. Some are like, no, it's 2's got to be the max, or 1's the max, or
because
whatever.
they also get worn out. Like they don't even realize that they're mentally worn out. They go to school all day, and they, sometimes they just. I mean, I don't know a single kid that didn't at some point have a meltdown when they were young.
Yeah,
because of just
So-
pushing them too much. But
I let him pick which one was gonna
be cut.
Yeah.
And wait till basketball starts becoming a thing.
No, he's really good at basketball.
So that's a third sport: flag football,
but
baseball,
per season,
and basketball.
per season.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, because soccer's the same time as baseball.
Yeah.
I think, or depending if
Exact-
fall, it's the same
yeah.
time as football.
No, I mean he scored like 50% of his team's points in
Is it a
every
8 foot?
game. It was, I think so, but he can shoot on a 10. He's actually
The one in your living room is not 10 foot.
I'm talking about the one in the driveway. He's actually going to KU camp this summer, which I went to twice. I'm pretty pumped. But anyway, the point is, when he's trying to like weigh all this stuff, he's had complained previously about the heat in baseball and the standing around and putting on all this, because a lot of his teammates are like, they look to me, and I'm a snob about this, they look sloppy out there, but he is belt, stirrups,
Crisp.
tucked in.
Yep.
I mean, I don't wash it after every game, but every other for sure. Ball cap, just
What position does he play?
third.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like coach.
That's
like
cool.
coach was.
My son Colton played third base too.
Coach was trying to, figure out who can field a ball and get it over to first base, and one grounder, scoop, toss right in the mid, and he turned around and looked at me through the backstop, and he's like, "Got my third baseman," and he hit cleanup.
Yeah.
He hit the fourth all
Colton
season.
did the same thing. Dang, I know I miss him playing.
So he, he's listing those things as reasons why he might cut baseball, and then in talking to the other dads, I've had dads say, he got bored. He didn't like if he had to, sit on the bench for an inning, and he's out in the outfield where no balls are coming. So those are the reasons why baseball's getting cut. Another dad said, I never played one inning of baseball. All I did all my life was play basketball, and he's tall, and his kids got some skills.
Be tall, yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't play any like from third grade through junior year. I don't think I played senior.
How tall is he?
No, I'm talking about me.
Oh,
Third grade through junior year. Like, I mean, I ate, slept, and drank baseball. I mean, like, baseball was it. Now, but I feel like that was the case for a lot of kids, but I don't really think. I think that number has fallen a little bit now with our kids generation.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No?
I mean, no, because I just think probably in your school,
Yeah,
or your
could be.
district, maybe.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know Lathe is super strong. Blue Valley's super
Yes,
strong
yeah,
in baseball. Shawnee Mission. And, it's just, and seeing the amount of tournaments, because Colton was in it until his sophomore year, which was 3 years ago. But then I have some friends who have kids that are still playing, and it's still strong.
Sure.
It just it just depends
But,
on what you're exposed to.
Yeah. I mean, there was hockey and lacrosse weren't really an option for me when I was growing up. So there's more stuff.
Yeah, a lot of kids are playing lacrosse,
and there's a lot of kids playing like
in hockey. My nephew plays hockey.
Stuff
he's
too.
in competitive hockey. So
like some kids will be playing rec soccer, but then they also play competitive soccer.
Yeah.
Or rec basketball, and then they also play competitive basketball. So, man, it's just anyway. So you saw when you bought 311 Music on compact disc.
Yep.
But you had already seen them live once before.
No, actually.
Okay.
So one of the guys I hung out with had the 311 Music.
Okay.
I didn't own the CD yet because we were always at in the same apartment building. So we literally were at each other's apartments. So I had so many CDs, so did they. But like, I remember A Tribe Called Quest was one we were listening to. I had.
Yeah.
That we listened to a lot that people hadn't really heard. The one with the green cover, CD cover, kind of a lighter green. See, I'm horrible with names of albums.
Okay.
But it would have had to have come out like 91, 92.
I mean, they had Low End Theory, and they had People's Instinctive Beats, Rhythms, something, and then there was one in between, which is probably the one.
Yeah, see, and I can't, like, I listened, I always had, like, as soon as Ice Cube CD came out, I had Ice Cube, and I played that all the time. I mean, when Snoop Dogg came out, and Dr. Dre, like, I was the first one to have those.
Nice.
Like, literally, I remember going to the CD store in Manhattan, and I would be in line to get those CDs. And I was the first one in our group of whatever 50 people I probably ran around with, because there's a lot of different people that I crossed paths with. Like, like there's Toby Shahan, who played baseball for K-State, Brian Herholzer, Chris Bouchard. Like, they were all really close to them. And then like Matt Miller, who was our quarterback, and Tyson Schweiger, I was close with them too. So like we all crossed paths, and of course all my core friends that were my fraternity brothers, and then a few from other fraternities. We always had the music, and it's like, okay, where are we going to the after hours? Where are we going pre-party?
Nice.
Because a lot of times I actually was working in restaurants. So the cool thing was I'd be at restaurants, and then we get off work at 10:30, go home and shower. We get to the bars at 11. Well, there was about 8 of us that worked at Harry's, and then Rockabilly was the other group, and Lucky's. And so we would always be having the after hours because we were just... they had been drinking, especially on Saturdays, and they were drinking at the football games. Everybody's drinking at the football games. I could never drink at the football games because I had to leave at halftime to go to work. But then I was the one partying until 4 a.m. because we weren't, sloppy wasted. So,
right. Yeah.
So that's how the music. So people kind of we played the music, between all of our houses, apartments, whatever.
Yeah. So, man, those two, so they still tour and.
Yeah, 311 Day.
Did you
311 Days in Vegas this year?
What day is it? Do you know?
It's 311. So I think this year,
okay. Like yesterday.
Let's see.
Yes. So yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
see, as you can tell, I've never been to a 311 Day. One of my old roommates, he hasn't missed one since.
Wow.
And he was wanting me to go to Vegas this year. I'm like, I can't financially do this.
They were here not too long ago.
Yeah, at Grinders.
Yeah. Did you go see him?
I did not.
No. Have you seen him recently?
I think the last time I saw them was when they played somewhere down like the River Market.
Okay.
Which probably would have been maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. So no, I haven't. I mean, I've seen some of their live stream shows that they were doing during COVID. Yeah. Where they played the whole music album, and then they played Grassroots, and so I saw some of those, which were just really cool.
I know that they formed in the very late 80s in Nebraska, but 311 Music came out in 93, and they've put out 12 records since then. I mean, so they've been into the double digits of discography wise for a while now. If you had to grade yourself, like a school grade for knowledge of their discography, what would you say you are? Like a
C.
Okay.
Because it's just those the albums through 2000 is
Okay.
when I kind of quit. Anything after 2000, I haven't, but anything prior to, or maybe 2003,
So,
actually.
Having said that, did 311 Music get the nod for you for this because it was the first one?
And just because of...
Is it the best one? If you
Yes.
if you cut off...
What? Yes, absolutely. I think it was just so raw.
Yeah,
it was just
for sure it is.
They've kind of became more, or at least based on that album, just like anyone, you have to adapt to who your audience is and how you want to get out there. So they just became, just like they redid that Cure song, it kind of turned into something not as raw.
They definitely got a little bit crisper, a little bit more polished, what album did Amber? What album's that on?
Amber was on. I think that was on Grassroots.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was. But see, that's the kind of stuff I don't totally know like I should.
I mean,
over years, I just can't remember that stuff. But
I think
that was like their very first famous song. I think is that what you were getting at?
Well, I was just gonna.
No, actually, there's another one on that album that.
I don't know, but I know that song really well, and it's from a production standpoint, it's very clean, very polished, and while they still have a rawness to them, it's nothing like.
Well, honestly,
311 Music.
About it, I don't think anyone, unless you had that album, none of those, not a single song on the music CD made the radio.
No, I listened to it. I was listening to it yesterday, and I was like, I kind of know snippets of a few of these tracks, but I don't really know this album at all.
I think that's what I've been listening to that thing since that thing came out,
right?
And I haven't put it down.
Wow.
That album. So, it's kind of, because it was kind of weird. So even like with the Hair Nation and stuff, like in the 86, 87, 88, or like 88, 89, 90, 91, I was always listening. When I was at home, I listened to that late night on MTV. It was called, I think, Heavy Metal or
Headbangers Ball.
Headbangers Ball. Thank you. Yeah. And I was always looking for new artists and then going and purchasing CDs if I liked the song enough.
Nice.
Because you didn't have the internet where you could just downstream something.
Nope.
It's like you had to buy an album, a cassette, a CD if you wanted to listen to something. So that's why I think I have so many CDs because of all different music types, because I was always trying to find that, like Trickster or like Slaughter kind of didn't. At first, there's another band called Black and Blue that I don't think ever had a song on the radio. That a guy that I went to high school with, John, we were cruising around after school, and I heard it, and I ended up buying I think I have 5 of their CDs because I liked it so much. But none of it was like high Dolby definition. It kind of sounded like, you can kind of tell when Def Leppard did Pyromania. And then when they did Hysteria, you could totally tell the sound quality was so different. And that's kind of where some of those others, just like Motley Crue's another one, until they did Dr. Feelgood. Because even I don't think, maybe Theater to Pain, but I don't think it was. You could just tell the crispness and the difference in sound quality between those two albums.
Yeah, there had to have been a major technological leap or electronic leap, because
or Dolby or whatever the heck.
Because when I would put on Pyromania, I would be like, I really feel like somebody forgot to turn it up. And then Hysteria came out, and I was like,
whoa,
oh, dude, that's sick.
I know.
Holy shit.
And I've never done research to see what that was, but I totally.
And if you go even back to On Through the Night and High and Dry, those were their first two. Same deal.
Yeah.
Kind of like pretty good records, but kind of quiet.
Just like Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love.
Oh, wow.
And Theater of Pain was the same way. It didn't until that Dr. Feelgood came out, and you're like, holy smokes, this is just, yeah,
Man.
crank it.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like wherever I've gone, wherever I've been, if I wind up having a conversation with somebody about music and 311 comes up, it always seems like there's a portion of the population that is eager, willing, and ready to trash them. Have you not? You've never experienced this?
No, people just don't know who they are. Like, I'll meet like a 30-year-old, like, because I'm in restaurants all the time, selling food and whatnot, talking to people, and somehow we'll start talking about music. Like music in general.
How could you not know who they are?
People don't know who they are.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, even my cousin who just turned 31, he didn't know who they were until he met me. Candy's cousin.
Young.
Like, it just, I don't know. It's, I don't know. It is what it is.
Well, I feel like I've had that experience a lot, like for years. And I don't know if are you into Joe Rogan at all? No. Have you ever listened?
Oh, I know who he is. I've listened to him, but I've never listened to his podcast lately or anything like that.
You haven't? Okay.
I listen to music. I don't listen to podcasts.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, he had, a couple of months ago, he had Carrot Top on. Mm-hmm. You know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that he has a permanent 6-night-a-week residency in Vegas?
Carrot Top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 nights a week.
I didn't know how many it was exactly.
I mean, however,
I've been to Vegas twice in the last year and a half.
Okay.
So
okay.
I knew he was still around there. I never went and saw him or anything, but
and it's fascinating because Rogan brought this up. He was like, I don't know why, but at some point he became the comic that people would just trash all day, every day, and he's very, very aware of it. So they talked about it for a good bit. And it's like, I don't know if, because he has always been a prop guy. Like, he talks about having at one point 4 or 5 trunks full of stuff that he would, and eventually he's like whittled it down to just one. But it's
kind of like the Blue Man Group, I think. Like, I haven't seen either one, but they've been in Vegas forever.
Right. So,
and obviously people are seeing them.
Yeah. And so he was like, I don't know if it's because people thought that like the props were stupid, or if like people thought that I was like ripping off Gallagher. Gallagher would smash.
Yeah, he used to do. Oh, yeah.
But he kept doing it, and eventually all that stuff kind of went away, and here he is in 2022 doing 6 nights a week in Vegas, and I feel like there's a parallel there between him and 311 because they've obviously had a very strong fan base for a long time. They're successful. They've been together for 30 years, basically. They put out 13 records. They've, in my opinion, my experience, they've never been shy of having a portion of the population trash them for whatever reason. But zero fucks given. Like, they just keep making music. They keep touring. They have a fucking day.
They have a great following.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where, shame on me, that I haven't followed them. But there's so much other music that I like listening to now.
Yeah.
Where I can still listen to that old stuff, but their new stuff, I just haven't really. Like when I met Candy, I started getting into country.
Right.
And been to. I mean, I think I've seen Luke Combs 3 times.
Wow.
And I kind of feel like he was the very first country person I gravitated to when that song I'd mentioned, Hurricane, came out. And, like, he's one that came out, like, right when I started listening to it. And I was like, this guy's great, And then, talking to Ken, it's like, oh, he's brand new. Like, and so then now seeing what he's done with his career, And then Eric Church is another one that he doesn't put out a bad song. Neither one of them do. And that was a really weird one because the first time Candy took me there, like we've been dating like 2 months, and I did not like it at all. Like I was like,
and now you do.
And now I freaking like top 3 country artists for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so then that's the thing is like we're going to that show, the Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, Joan Jett at the stadium this summer, but I would never normally go to like older. Like I would go to like Eric Church. I'd go to the, I want to see Luke Bryan's coming in the fall. I'll go to that one.
Have you seen the video of him hunting where he gets the elk?
Oh, I think so. I don't like hunting, so I probably didn't watch it.
When I send you Russell Wilson, I'll send you Luke Bryan.
Okay. So, but because literally Poison, Def Leppard, Motley Crue are three of my all-time favorite hair bands, rock bands, whatever. I'm like, okay, I don't care what they sound like, I'm going. But I'm pretty pumped for that one. We're going to Kenny Chesney. That was postponed for 3 years. We're going to St. Louis actually for that one.
Okay.
Because I got that one. Candy's like, just COVID hit, and I'm like, no, I'm holding on to it. We have like 8th row tickets. And I'm gonna go see. I'm just hoping the Cardinals will be playing that same time, so I can go see a Cardinals game.
How many stadiums have you been to?
26.
Okay.
But some of them have been torn down. They're the new stadiums there.
Sure.
Like the old Detroit Tigers stadium I went to, the old Comiskey. I went to. I count Mile High as a stadium because Rockies played there for a season. So.
I'm trying to picture Comiskey. Was that like a weird round?
Yeah, and they brought over the outfield firework things when they hit home runs.
Okay. So what's left, stadium wise?
Yeah, I still have quite a few. I still haven't been to.
You've been to.
I haven't been to the Giants. I haven't been to the Dodgers, the A's, the Mariners, the Red Sox, the Yankees. Still haven't been to Cincinnati or Cleveland. Haven't been to
3 trips
Pittsburgh,
right there.
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Haven't been to Houston yet.
Okay, that's a pretty small, manageable list. So.
Yeah, it is. Candy knows that's my bucket list more than anything. It's right there with seeing live music.
Okay.
We go to Bull Creek quite a bit to see their live music out by our house because we live in Spring Hill. We're there. It's called Bull Creek Bowery. They do live music like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or not everyone, but throughout the month. So we usually see 3 local bands there a month, probably.
Damn. Okay. So what about your kids and music? What are they into? Or are they into music?
It's pretty funny because Logan knows Warrant, Cherry Pie, AC/DC, Back in Black from me, so he'll play that stuff. But they like a lot of the Hip Hop Nation stuff.
Okay. Hip Hop Nation.
That's just a serious.
Gotcha.
But it's like Post Malone.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD. Logan, who loves Juice WRLD. And I actually like him too.
Okay.
He's deceased now because he got in trouble in Chicago by the police and took a whole bunch of oxy and had a heart attack.
Oh my God.
And that happened. It's probably been a year, but he still has music coming out because he had done so much music.
Wild.
That almost like Elvis Presley type
now,
of stuff.
Does he, when he puts out new stuff, is it an album or does he drop songs?
No, there are people are dropping, whoever's running is dropping songs, but there's songs with like Justin Bieber. There's some stuff that he has done, but he just has, so I kind of know, it's funny because Candy and I will be traveling and we'll cover up the Sirius Satellite thing and we'll hit the stations and see who can name the song and artist. And she can hang with me, but if I can't do anything in old country, but every other type of music. We don't do classical, but like 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s, pop.
Sure.
Lithium, Hair Nation, and no one can touch me on that.
Dang.
So I probably really need to go on like Shazam or something and win some money from doing that.
Or see if they want to hire you.
Heck.
You guys have heard of me, right? You know about my road trip skills.
Let me show you my skill sets.
So what about that's what Logan's into.
Yeah. I don't, Colton isn't away in Manhattan, so it'd be hard to answer for that.
How's he doing down there?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got 3.83 his first semester, and he's going to be rush chairman, so he's rushing people already and stuff.
Whoa.
As a freshman. The sophomores are still helping, but he loves it. He was all about KU until like February before the end of the year. He's like, I'm going to K-State. I'm like, sweet. And then he's like, hey, I'm going to rush. I'm like, oh, cool. So that's pretty cool because I got to see his initiation.
Was he
stuff like that? But
is it safe to say that he's got a pretty level head on his shoulders right now, but he also got some stuff out of his system before he finished high school. Is that?
Yeah.
Because I have a hard time keeping
I know.
all of your
The
people
kids.
straight.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. And then JC, there's this station on Sirius called the 10 Spot, and it's all music from the 2000s.
Okay.
And it's every kind of, and it's, she listens to that. So like Kesha. And like, I don't know, like, that type of kind of, what's her face that's on American Idol? Katy Perry.
Oh yeah.
And it's got all kinds of stuff. So we'll listen to that together because we call it her station now because I drive her to school, the days I have her, and it's a good, 15-minute drive. So we get a lot of time listening to the music. So
cool. What about Candy has two boys, right?
Two boys. One's a junior in college at Northwest Missouri State, and he listens to, like, he was going to drop all of his money to go see Kanye West when he was going to play whatever that was a year ago or something in some stadium tour type thing. He didn't because it was like $600 or something crazy. We're like, so I know he likes Kanye West, but and probably music like that, the college kids listen to. And then Brody would be probably country because like when we're all together playing games, we're listening to, your Eric Church, your Luke Combs, your Carrie Underwood, your Luke Bryan, your Blake Shelton,
man,
Old Dominion.
Wow, for rattling off names over there.
So, yeah, there's so yeah. I mean, so I would say that's his. But then when he and I are riding together, I'll throw in the whole Hair Nation. So it'll be Motley Crue and Def Leppard. AC/DC, so he knows that stuff too.
What about your kid's mom? Was she into music when you guys were together?
No,
not, and it still isn't.
Mm-mm.
So what does she put on in the car?
Probably talk radio.
Okay,
would be my guess.
And then she probably isn't somebody that plays a bunch of music at home either.
No.
Wow.
No.
Every once in a while, I come across a person that really just kind of doesn't have music in their life, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, we went when we were married. She surprised me. We went and saw Black Eyed Peas down at Sprint Center at like
fun?
the Blue. Yeah, we ended up having like Fergie was literally, I could have almost touched her from where our seats were. Like we were like kind of on the side stage. So I was content the whole time. It was fantastic.
Nice.
So, but yeah, it was a good time. I'm trying to think of another. I mean, I love Smashing Pumpkins. I saw them in Tinley Park in Chicago, where they're from, back in 96 or 97. And my buddy who lived in Chicago, I made him go. I got the tickets, and then like we pretended we had passes to go down front, and I just like went like this, and we got down there, so we were like front row for the whole show. It was an outdoor show, and it was probably one of the best shows I've ever seen.
What would have just come out? What would they have just put out?
It would have been the album Zero, the double disc one, double CD or whatever.
No, the Melancholy and
Infinite Sadness.
Yeah.
And then like
wow.
Gish was incredible.
Was Gish
Siamese Dream was the one that kind of got them out to the public, and that was awesome.
Was Gish the EP?
Yeah,
shorter, like 5 tracks. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw them numerous times when they would come to town. And then the other thing I was gonna get at is when I got married in Vegas, right before we saw the last show before COVID hit, the official shutdown of COVID, because we got married March 3rd, and I think it was March 4th or 5th, we saw Chicago play in Vegas where we were
Peter
staying.
Cetera?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But he wasn't there. There's somebody that sounds just like him.
Of course.
I don't know if he passed, or I don't know if he just lost
Peter
his
Cetera?
vocals. I don't know.
I don't think he passed.
But whatever, this guy sounded just like him.
Wow.
And so that was pretty. That was our.
I wonder if they had a
relationship.
Feud. No, like Roger Waters says David Gilmour can't call it Pink Floyd. I wonder if Peter Cetera and Chicago, the current outfit.
Well, and I didn't know. I just knew it's tons of Chicago songs that happened to be playing when we were getting married.
Nice.
And then we saw the Eagles play in Omaha.
Was Abernathy there?
No, November maybe. I don't know. Candy surprised me with that one, and that was
Was that fun?
It was awesome.
Wow,
it was incredible.
So
they only had like 11 shows this year or something like that. Or
who's even I mean, Glenn Fry's deceased.
It was Joe Walsh
No.
is still there.
Wow.
Glenn Fry's deceased, so it's
no Don
what's his
Henley.
face? No, Don Henley's. No, wait. Is it Don Henley's son? One of their sons was playing. Walsh was there, and then it's the country singer that plays with them too, Vince Gill.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So he was there, and he's phenomenal. I mean, they had the orchestra, the Lincoln or Omaha, wherever we were. It was Omaha Orchestra playing with them that night, which just blows your mind. And there was like literally like 9 of them, 9 of the Eagles. You know, I mean, like it was freaking phenomenal.
Wow.
Glenn Fry is there. Glenn Fry's still alive because he played 2 of his songs, I think, or maybe it was his son. Oh my gosh! See, that's the kind of details I don't.
I thought
know.
Glenn Fry died recently, but
Maybe it was Glenn Fry. I don't know.
Anyway.
Whatever. But they played 2 of his songs.
Wow. Okay.
And then they played 2 Joe Walsh songs.
Which ones?
I don't know the names.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the most famous
Life's
ones.
Been Good.
Yes. Yeah, that was the one. And
Walk Away was a big James Gang. I think that was James Gang, not Joe Walsh.
I
But
can't. Yeah, 2 of his most popular
yeah.
songs.
Okay.
I know Life is Good was one of them. And that's the sad thing. Is like I could, and honestly, if I was listening to it on the radio, I could tell you exactly. A lot of times when Candy and I play that game, I know the artist, and she'll get the song before me, but I always can nail the artist.
Are you do you get on TikTok ever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I haven't been on too much recently, but there's a gal. We need to get you out of here.
Well, no, I was just looking to see. I hadn't looked at the clock in a while. It's 4:30. But probably by 5.
That's we'll wrap in just a sec. I'll have to. Okay, so I gotta send you.
We're gonna get off track.
No.
Oh no.
I gotta send you Russell Wilson Unlimited and Luke Bryan Hunting. There is a TikTok account, and her name is escaping me right now, but it's this Vikings fan. She's probably her name's Jackie, and she's probably in her 60s. And I think it's her nieces. They just make content of her, and a lot of it she drinks the shit out of Miller Lite with tomato juice.
Say wine, Miller Lite
with tomato juice.
Red beer. Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
that's what she's I think she's a postal worker.
Okay.
I think she's a letter carrier, maybe.
Yeah.
But when she's not working, she is drinking Miller Lite with tomato juice in it, and she's
Thank you for your service, Jackie.
Yeah, right. And she's a huge Vikings fan. So they'll record her watching the game. You know, God damn.
What's that dance that Jefferson's created? It's called the whole dance that all these kids are doing. And my daughter showed it to me today.
Okay.
And it's the is he a rookie this year or was he second year? Jefferson, the wide receiver.
Okay.
And it's called like
yes.
The Giddy?
I
think it's
Gritty.
called the
Gritty.
Gritty. Okay,
Gritty. My daughter's done it too, yeah.
So she was showing me all this. So I'm wondering if Jackie does the Gritty.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But another thing they'll do is they'll get, they'll have a laptop up and they'll play a song. 70s, 80s, 90s typically is the span, and she's got to do artist and track name, and she's really good. Like she knows
like how fast she can do it.
Well,
or she sings it like
no, she's just got to say.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a timed thing.
Yeah.
But she knows her classic rock inside and out. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just a cute. I just randomly came across it. It's a cute account, and it's ever since I first came across it, it's really blown up.
Oh yeah.
So
okay. Send that to me. Let me know.
Yeah.
I'm not on it every day, but
so
I did some really stupid things, like with my nephew and my kids, like with TikTok just being silly over the summer when we were in Albany, because Albany's this little town in Missouri where Candy's from.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted some stuff on TikTok that's just goofy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's
Well, it's just
harmless.
what it's for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't do
that's-
anything get you in trouble.
No.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah.
Drinking
So-
beer's in trouble, then yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
like if you're, I do. We do. Will you do this one with me? And I got to like learn the dance or whatever, and then we do it. And
Yeah.
I look fat and stupid. And,
And old.
yeah, old.
That's what I've mastered on.
So, are there any others? You know, if I guess to be cliche, if you had to make a Mount Rushmore, and 311 Music's up there, what are filling the
Beastie
other?
Boys, Paul's Boutique.
Paul's Boutique.
Definitely would be up there.
God, that's a good one.
I mean, I couldn't do just 4 or 5. That'd be too hard, I think. I mean, Lenny Kravitz was a huge. So I'd say the one.
Are you gonna go my way?
No, the one before that.
Yeah,
Live and Let or
Let Love Rule.
That would have to be on there.
Like Purple, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
think that one is. I think the
Good-
one after
good
that
record.
is, but that would have to be on there for sure. I would have to put Def Leppard Hysteria on there.
Dude, I saw a video not too long ago. I think it was a tailgate. Or actually, yeah, I think it was a tailgate. But anyway, the people are drinking and playing bags and listening to music and doing whatever, and somebody plays Hysteria, the title track. And at first, a few people are like, kind of cringe, like looking around, but like 15 seconds in, everybody in the footage, every word at the top of their, and even down to the little nuances, like, say you will, like just, and then that Steve Clark says, I mean,
it's and that's where I think my Mount Rushmore has to be the older one. I think then Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood has to be on there too.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to pick, because I've listened to those now for so many years, like I could see A Desperate Man by Eric Church being one, but I couldn't put it on it for another 10, 15 years. I'm still listening to that, as much as I do. Luke Combs is another one that I continue to listen to. I mean, AC/DC Back in Black would have to be that one, or the Razor's Edge. One of those two would have to be in top 10. Now I'm broadening it to top 10, but
sure, that's fine.
Pearl Jam
10,
yeah, would have to be on there. Then the one after that was
Versus.
Phenomenal. Yeah,
Phenomenal.
No,
might
not
be a
Versus.
stretch.
I think there was another one. Which one had the old man behind the counter or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that
I think
Versus?
I think that's
okay.
Versus.
Okay, so
Had Animal and Daughter and
yeah. Is that Versus? Okay,
I think so. I think so.
See, and that's how bad I am with names
Yeah.
of albums. I mean, Smashing Pumpkins would have to fall in there, but it's like with them, I don't know which album it would be. Like, there's just songs throughout. Like, I couldn't put one album, on there. Just like Nirvana was one that I listened to a ton of it, but I couldn't put an album in there. But like Foo Fighters is another one that I just think is unbelievable.
Have you seen them live?
I've not seen them
Me
live.
either.
And it's
But you really dig them? I've never really spent a whole lot of time
but
with
there's
their
not
stuff.
a single album. Like, it's just certain songs
Okay.
that I freaking like. Wheels is one that I just, love. Candy and I actually, this would have been probably 6 months ago during COVID, where we created a list of our top 200 songs and wrote them down on a piece of paper, and
On a pad, like with your,
on the same pad.
Yeah.
Not even realizing now that I used to do that, and then I did it with her, But that's how much we love music.
Nice.
It's just, I know I'm forgetting stuff.
Yeah.
I would have to put Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre's those album.
Chronic and Doggy Style.
Or I'd have to put one of those.
Yeah.
Or maybe both of them.
Right.
Ice Cube. He's another one where his albums. I have to say, whatever one was after Kill at Will, like Lethal Injection.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah.
Would have to be up there too. And then even NWA and the Posse, Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Like, that would have to be there.
What about your sister? Was she, when
No.
you were growing up, was she into music?
Mm-mm.
She wasn't like checking
really.
out what you were checking out, and
She had her own. I mean, she was my little sister, and she was super smart on the drill team, straight A's.
What
you know, where I'm like kinda
age
out
difference?
partying. 3 years.
Okay,
2.5 years. 2 years and 3/4, whatever.
And
So,
she's where now?
she's in Olathe. She's a counselor at Olathe Northwest.
That's right. That's
High
right.
School. So, and she has one son,
Okay.
Tyler. Now he has a really nice car. He saved his money, and so, but I don't know what music he listens to. But I'm sure he has a soundtrack.
Is she
in that car.
with Tyler's dad?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
does he
JJ still?
does he listen to music?
No, not really.
Wow.
No, because I say this because when they come to our house, we have music playing.
Uh huh.
And when I go to their house,
The
they don't have
TV's
music
on.
playing.
Oh,
Or
wow.
the TV's on.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So where Candy and I mean, literally 24/7, we have the music on pretty much.
I love it.
I did start in the past few months. Like I even tried this not last night, the night before, where I was listening to music when I was laying down. I had to shut it off to go to sleep. Where I used to just fall asleep to music.
Oh wow.
But I think, and that's just happened in the last year. But I think that has to do with where music stimulates me so much that I really like listening to it, that it doesn't help me shut off my mind anymore.
Okay.
I have to just naturally shut my mind off and turn off. I used to fall asleep with the TV on or music,
Yeah.
and now I don't. I shut it off. It's weird.
Uh,
Ever since I turned 50, so.
you keep making it sound like I'm in for just a world of surprise here in the next 3 years. I feel like I got a pretty good idea of how things are. Like,
Okay, we'll see.
as far as
We'll circle back to that in episode 69. Back here in 2 years,
Right,
wherever you're at.
right.
So we
Yeah,
can
'cause-
reference that. We could reference you still making this house. I mean, we can make this like,
we could talk about
quarterly thing.
how horribly overpaid the Broncos for Russell Wilson
You know what?
trade
It's
was.
just, that's what we get for not being able to draft a quarterback since the franchise started in 1968.
Brian Greasy.
Exactly. Like I said, we haven't been able to draft a winning quarterback that can win a Super Bowl, so we have to give away the farm and
Cutler.
trade for one,
Cutler.
which I'm good with.
Cutler had potential, man.
Exactly.
Did he go to Vanderbilt?
Yes, I saw him play at Vanderbilt.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was running the Wichita Yayas, and I went to a date party up there and saw him play that year.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to the game. Yeah, he's like, let me see who else. Cutler. I mean, Cutler was better than Drew Lock. I'll give you that. But,
Yeah.
it's like you can't. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Greasy and Cutler probably were the two that at some point we thought were the answer, but
And
we're not.
rightfully so. I mean,
Cutler's now a famous whatever on video, on whatever. He and his wife, I think, did a thing, and now they're divorced or whatever.
You know who he hangs out with sometimes is Nate Bargatze, who's a stand-up comic that is really good. He's really good. And he's like an insane Vanderbilt fan. Like his whole
They won a big game here
yeah,
yesterday or the day
yeah.
before, I think.
He's a really good comic though.
Yeah.
And Cutler comes on.
Jay Cutler is a good comic.
No, Nate Bargatze, but he has a podcast, and I think it's called Nateland. And I've seen Cutler on there like a couple times. I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, and he looks like chill.
star?
He looks like he's like happy.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of years he didn't.
Well, he never made it in Denver, and never made it in Chicago.
I know.
Neither
And
team
he-
with all the high expectations. That's
And
the
talk
bad
about
thing
like 311 and Carrot Top. Like he got shit on by a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's like he's the guy that doesn't care, or the cigarette thing, or who he's dating.
It's just really hard for me to compare anyone being shit on as much as Lynn Elliott when he missed those field goals for the Chiefs. I mean, I don't think
that was the 95 Colts game when it was freezing. 10-7, I think, was the final.
That sounds right. Yeah. And he missed multiple field goals.
I think he missed 3.
Yeah. He got ran out of town, and I've never heard of him since. But that's when I think about somebody getting shit on. Like, that was pretty bad.
I mean,
rightfully so. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're a field goal kicker in the NFL, you better be able to make those field goals, and you sure can't miss 3 times in a playoff game. But.
Also, if you're running an NFL franchise that goes 13-3 with first round bye, home field advantage throughout several times in a decade.
Yeah.
You should probably be able to generate more than 7 points.
Joe Montana, Marcus Allen. And,
you should probably be able to matriculate the ball down the field and score some touchdowns if you expect to, I don't know, win a playoff game ever.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, let's get you out of here. And I'm super glad you said yes. And then kind of, we were able to just kind of get you here quick and with very little notice. And I'm very, very happy. I've said this a couple times already on other episodes, but man, the gift of time is invaluable. And when somebody just willingly will give you like 2 hours out of their Saturday or 3 hours out of a Tuesday evening or fucking whatever, 5 minutes to take you to the mechanic to pick up your car.
Yeah.
I find my
time is,
because money and food and booze and get all of that is kind of like, but time,
right?
Especially for those of us that are in our late 50s or late 40s and early 50s, with children, like there's not a lot of it to go around. So,
and the demands of the restaurant industry.
Other
things going on with food manufacturing.
Well, you'll have to tell Candy I said hello and give her a hug for me.
Yeah.
I thought for a second, there was a possibility that you were going to bring her.
I know. I actually offered.
Okay.
I offered to bring her if she wanted to come when I told her what I was doing. And then I offered to bring my daughter too.
Okay.
Just because she was like, "You're doing what?" And I'm like, "You want to come?"
Yeah.
Cool. I mean,
that sounds like,
you never know. They might, if they hear this or however this
sounds
gets
like,
out, they might do that next time.
You guys have your relationship is strong right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not too far in the rear view. It seemed like she was giving you and her mom a run for your guys' money.
Oh yeah. She admits to it when she was 12 and 13. It was pretty bad. She's kind of over that, but
she tell you she loves you and give you hugs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Good job.
My boys do that still. Both of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Even
every time
in public.
Oh. Yep.
That just goosebumps right there.
Oh yeah, because I'll talk to them and I'm like, "I love you," and they're like, "I love you too, Dad," and they'll sometimes say it first.
Are Candy's boys affectionate with her? Good.
They say they love me too.
Nice.
Like, yeah, that's
very
pretty
nice.
Cool. Yeah,
and
my kids love my.
They're old enough now that you're not just some dude that's dating their mom.
No,
they know that.
Like our anniversary was just March 3rd, so they sent some nice. The oldest Tatum sent something really nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He didn't add any pieces of jewelry to your collection though.
Not at this point.
Okay.
But I think probably I'm finally going to get a Broncos Super Bowl replica ring when we win next year. So I think that'll go on one of these hands.
I mean,
next to the baseball, maybe.
Yeah. Here we are back in Erik Hess fiction land.
A couple things here going,
No, I was asking if any of the boys, Candy's boys, had bestowed upon you the gift of jewelry to add to your.
No.
You're running out of body parts. Honestly,
I might have to, give this to one of the boys, and not this one, pass it down. So
I gotta say, with all of your bling, I really, really, really love. How many watches do you have?
Well, I have. This was one of 3, but the other 2 have broken. So this one I just was able to get fixed. So
okay.
Unfortunately, now I only have one watch that I wear, but I've got.
I really have just personally. I have to give you a ton of kudos for sticking with like a traditional watch that's good looking and it just tells you the time.
Oh yeah.
Because I can't stand just every. Like I know.
It's like, hey, you're driving east. Your watch says
east.
Text. Temperature is this.
Text.
Longitude and latitude.
There are people on my list that I want to have on for episodes, and if they say yes, I'm going to say the Apple Watch gets put on.
Oh yeah, the Apple Watch. Oh yeah.
Because it's so rude.
No,
Anyway.
No, Candy has an Apple Watch.
I'm a curmudgeon.
My daughter has an Apple Watch, so yeah.
But
I wouldn't have a cell phone if I didn't have to have one.
Right.
That's really.
Man.
I mean,
all right, let's get you out of here. Thanks again. I usually get this up in a couple days, and there's a YouTube if you want to watch it, and
YouTube.
The website has just the audio if you want to just listen to it.
Yeah, send that to me too.
I'll send them both to you.
Cool. Yeah, I have to. Well, send me the website so then I can see your first 4 episodes.
It's a big time commitment if you're gonna.
I know.
If you're gonna take a bite out of those. All right, man.
Which way it goes if it keeps me in.
Yeah, right.
If you start talking about hockey, you might lose me. But.
Right. All right, man. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Blair.